Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Spaniard Show. Welcome to another wonderful day of AMXbooks, where we are learning, where we are extracting, where we are consuming, where we are digesting, where we are talking about, where we are everything from these wonderful books. That within these books lie. I'm trying to think, what is it? Is it the secret? No, it's not the secret. Is it... I don't know what it is. I don't know the proper word. All I can say is the key to peace and fulfillment. How about that? The key to peace and fulfillment lies within these books, of which I talk about, of which I'm building up this stinking giant piles. I have 3 books arriving today at my house. I have 3 books arriving today at my house. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right here. That's 9. I have 10 up on my fridge, and I have 11 that I just started reading today. So that's 11 books. And mind you, it takes me anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes per page to read and process these books. And then I want to prep for today's lesson. So it's I'm putting I have a lot. Oh, and I have about 90 books in queue on Amazon. So, I don't know. I just got some stuff to do here in the next. Hello, Johnny Waite. Always love to see my friend Johnny Waite pop up. My new returning to a vegetarian lifestyle, Johnny Waite. Sorry, post. I liked it. All right. Johnny is from the Spartan Up podcast. Jeanette, you are absolutely correct. I do need a book. I need a library. I do absolutely need a library. And you can't see my office in front of me, my unfinished basement. But as soon as this starts to pick up, I will have myself the coolest freaking library, gym, and studio that one could ever imagine. All right, let's dive into today's lesson, AMX 614. 1, 2, 3, go. Good morning, my friends, and welcome to another episode of the Spaniard Show. We are on AMX 614, studying the book Unplugged by Brian McKenzie, Dr. Andy Galpin, and Phil White. Evolve from technology to upgrade your fitness, performance, and consciousness. So I've been reading ahead lately. So I finished this book Unplugged, which we're just starting to talk about on the show, and I started today Boys in the Boat, and holy cow, I'm 22 pages in, and I've got chills. It's about so many different things that pertain to you and I that I absolutely cannot wait to discuss it on this show. But first, let's dive into this idea of pressure from yourselves. So this book, Unplugged, Evolve from Technology to Upgrade Your Fitness, Performance, and Consciousness. Evolve from technology, right? Don't become beholden to, don't become a prisoner of, don't become captive to technology. In this instance, the book talks about fitness, performance, consciousness, being present, exercise, and wellness, but also just having your phone in your hand, or just having the screen in front of your face, or the screen in front of your kids' faces. And so this book has that peak or that direction to it, that of fitness, performance, etc. But this applies, the stat I'm reading right now applies to that avenue, but it really applies to everything in general. We're going to bring it down to pressure. Pressure from yourself. Listen to this crazy stats. Quote, 79% of people who use a popular device felt pressured to reach their daily targets, with 59% saying it controlled their daily routines and 39% viewing it as their enemy. So we're talking any sort of fitness wearable or watchable, something that keeps track of what you're doing, how you're doing it, how fast you should be going, what your heart rate should be, how much you should climb, how many steps you should have, all of those things. So how is that helpful? Okay, it's creating a negative return. It's like we get into doing something because it appears to be brighter, better, greener, pasture, whatever, but then you start to lose sight of what you're actually doing. Listen to that again. 79% of people who use a popular device felt pressured to reach their daily targets. 59% saying it controlled their daily routines. 39% viewing it as their enemy. That little thing on your wrist, viewing it as their enemy. And if you don't use a wearable, like me, I don't necessarily use a wearable, but here's the thing. All this pressure that we're creating, these percentages of negativity, it's essentially keeping up with the Joneses, or it's comparison, or it's the pressure to meet a goal, right? And this idea of pressure, that's the focus of this segment of the show. So I don't use wearables much. I don't use, when I exercise, I generally use a Timex Ironman watch and my body and minimal weights. That's generally what I use. I keep reps per minute. If I'm on a treadmill, I keep time to know when my sprints are or when my reps need to be completed within that minute. But that's about as far as it goes. So if you're like me and you don't necessarily use the wearables, let's talk about pressure in this way. So I put this out on social media recently. My bars, when I assess myself as a human, right? Mentally, psychologically, physically, as a parent, as a husband, as a whatever, there's certain people to whom I assess myself, okay? So 3 people in general, especially when it comes to fitness performance, are Frankie Edgar, Jocko Willink, and The Rock. Okay, so I sit here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and I assess myself based on what would Frankie do. When I was fighting, I must have asked myself, what would Frankie do? 1,000,000 times. And whatever Frankie would do, I would do. And now I'm a big fan and a big reader and a big follower of Jocko Willink. Jocko religiously gets up at 4, 4:30, 3:30 in the morning, gets his work, does this. I assess myself that. The Rock. I mean, if you're an aspiring person, you can't help but be, if you're an inspired person, you can't help but be inspired by The Rock. So what happens is I don't just assess myself by these people, I start comparing myself to these people. And quickly when I was fighting, I realized, whoa, I am not Frankie. Frankie's not me. I cannot do what Frankie can do. I had to come to grips with that. I had to come to grips with the fact, yes, Jocko gets up every morning. Guess what? I can't, because I have 2 little kids and I'm really tired at 5 o'clock and I can't play with them and I'm unable to keep up this routine. And with The Rock, the Rock's parameters are so different than my parameters that for me to assess myself on these guys, yeah, great. But for me to compare myself to these guys and then come back with negativity such that these wearables that they're talking about in these books and watchables and technology, it's just not right. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I read these books and do all this learning so I can reach peace and fulfillment. When I'm too busy comparing myself to these people and then coming down negatively on myself, it's like I'm my own worst enemy when I should be my own best friend. So be sure that whether it's using technology to track your fitness and training, etc., or whether you're just assessing yourself with other people in your sphere that you aspire to be like, make sure that assessment doesn't turn into comparison. There's another short story in the book that really struck me because I grew up a wrestler. I must have stepped on the scale 1,000, I don't even know, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 times in my life. And always it was that moment of make or break. You step on that scale and boom, it tells you how the rest of your day, your workout, your week, your month, your family vacation, your Christmas, your birthday, your Easter, your Thanksgiving, it tells you how that's going to be, right? So there was a story about the author, Dr. Andy Galpin, training for a 2007 National Weightlifting Championships, and he needed to lose weight. And there was a line in the book that said, weight loss is not always linear. And that struck a chord and that struck a nerve with me. Weight loss is not always linear. Success is not always linear. Improvement is not always linear. What does that mean? That means that you're going to take 5 steps forward, 3 steps back, 2 steps forward, 4 steps back, 5 steps forward, 1 step back, 4 steps forward. It's going to go up and down, left and right. One of the most confusing things to me as a combat athlete who had to step on the scale is, I eat everything and I weigh a little bit. I eat nothing and I weigh a lot. It wasn't linear. It didn't seem to make sense to me. But this idea brought me back to an idea of Scott Adams. Scott Adams, creator of Dilbert, author of the book How to Fail at Everything and Still Win Big, one of the books I reference the most. I remember he's not a fitness guru, but one of the things he said in that book essentially was, I eat as much of the good stuff as I want and I limit myself to the bad stuff. There you have it. I eat as much of the good stuff as I want. I limit the bad stuff. And there you have it, folks. That linear progress that we covet, as long as you're doing the right things, a heck of a lot more than you're doing the wrong things, that's all you can ask, really. I don't want to say that you win or that's the issue, but that's really all you can ask. So today I favor a much more holistic approach of this idea of doing a lot more good than bad. That's your benefit. I recently read about an 80-20. Actually, in this book, Unplugged, they talk about 80-20. If you're making the right choices 80% of the time, boom, there you go. If you're a professional athlete, if you're Michael Phelps, if you're trying to be a UFC champion, if you are The Rock, who's trying to get perfectly physically fit for the role, if you are Jocko, who has this insane ability to sleep a very little amount, or Frankie, who has the work output, as more work output than anyone I've ever seen on earth, yeah, you can up your game to be 99-1, 99% of the time making the right choices. Either way, it all comes back to you and I. There's a line in the book: we become too beholden to our technology. We've abdicated our power and freely given away responsibility for our health. Don't forget success principle number 1. Take 100% responsibility for your life. This has been AMX 614. We're back tomorrow with 615. Tune in at Charlie Spaniard on social media. Spaniard Show on iTunes podcast app. See ya. How am I mispronouncing linear? Is it linear? 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 Linear! It's linear! Oh my. This is, I think I was going to say, I don't know what I was going to say, but here's the truth. I'm the smartest and the dumbest person at the same time. I'm the smartest and the dumbest person. Obviously, I say that hyperbolically. But I might say some pretty profound stuff, but I sure as heck say some dumb stuff too. You know, it's like the... you just try again, right? Hey, Eduardo. Bienvenidos, amigo. Espero que vuelvas mañana para AMX 615. AMX 615. Mañana vamos a estar hablando de los libros también. Yeah, but anyhow, smartest and the dumbest guy you'll ever meet. Maybe that'll be my tagline. I'm the smartest and dumbest guy. Anyway, linear, not linear. It doesn't matter, Jed. Nobody's listening anyway. It's only like you and 5 other people that are going to hear that. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'm very excited to come back tomorrow with AMX 615, talking more about Unplugged, evolving from fitness to enhance your performance, consciousness, and fitness. All right, well, my stairs are linear, so I got to go up them. I'll see you all tomorrow for 6:15. Reminder, a couple things here. For those of you who are watching, you're my regulars. My intros are going to be much shorter, so make sure your notifications are enabled, because I'm going to start uploading these videos to YouTube. So I'll have a YouTube channel that will have all of these logged. So there's going to be a lot less downtime at the beginning. And I don't know what I'm going to do with the time at the end. I don't know if I'll cut it off or talk here as well. But I'm going to try to clean up the video live streams. That way I don't have to edit them when I upload them to YouTube. So if you're a YouTuber, youtube.com/Charlie Spaniard currently. May change it, but that's what it is now. So I'm going to clean up these live streams, essentially is what I'm saying. So if you are a daily listener, live streamer, and you want to do that, make sure you have the page like notifications enabled in your pocket. At this point, I can't promise a time. It's been like 6:40, 6:45. So for now, that's the best I can do. But regardless, subscribe on iTunes and you'll get these all the time. I'll see you tomorrow.